Hi there, Sue here from Sue's Dolbrodmaeth kitchen. How are you today? I hope you're well. Anyway, today I'm going to be making some Welsh faggots. So I have my little cookbook here just so I can keep on focus, and I've got some ingredients here ready to go. So I've roughly chopped, hold on a moment, I need to just check the ingredients, how much you need. So it's 450 grams of pig's liver, it's just a little bit over that, mind, and 300 grams of belly pork. Okay, so belly pork, pig's liver. What we're going to do now is we're going to put it in here. You're supposed to use a food mixer, but funny enough, I don't happen to have a food mixer. I only have this little thing, and I have blenders, I have another kind of food mixer, but it doesn't have an attachment where I can grind this up. So we're going to, it's very noisy by the way, so we're going to just put this in here with a little bit of liver actually, because the liver's quite wet. Nice. And then we get the lid, which is already attached to the other bit, and we'll just put this on here, and away we go. This is quite noisy. Oh, okay. So what we're going to do now, well, we've just washed our hands, so we don't need to wash them again. So what you do is you just take, let me just check the procedure. I've never made faggots before, so you and me both. Right, with wet hands it says shake the mixture into 10 to 12 round faggots and lay them in a shallow oven-proof dish. Okay, so I've got 2 dishes here. This is quite a lot in here, and I don't want to make them that big. I don't like the gigantic ones. You can make the huge ones in the butchers here. They got huge, but I don't like them like that. I like them small. So I'm going to just make them the way I like. And that would be, for me, the size I would like. But you can make them whatever size you like. Okay? So there's no rules with the size. Okay? Just do what you like. But obviously I have to have a bigger dish, more dishes, if I'm making small faggots. So I hope they taste good. I'll let you know. I've got a couple of guests that just arrived, and I told them what I was doing, making YouTube videos, and this happens to be the guy's favourite thing, faggots, so I'm probably going to let them take some home. I'll put them in a little container and they can take some home. So that's cool, isn't it? Because I don't do cooking here no more for guests, so otherwise I would put them on the menu for the evening meals, but I don't do it anymore. So, but I really enjoy cooking still. I love it actually. So it's nice for me to do this. I love it actually, and to do it for people that like food. Well, they look good. So I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in this dish, and then the others will go in this dish. Because remember, the egg and the breadcrumb bind it together, so they shouldn't come apart. So let's hope. Otherwise, it will have a big mushy mess in there. So we're just doing this, and then we're going to cover them up with. It says to cover them up with tin foil, which is what we will do, and to coat the inside of the tin foil with butter. Now I just use some oil because my butter is quite hard in here because it's quite cold, and the butter's always hard. I have to melt it in the microwave to get it. So if I have toast in the morning, I have to melt the butter. so I can actually get it on the toast if I leave it out. I don't need to put it in the fridge because it's so cold in this kitchen in the winter. I'll take one of these out and put it in here actually, space them out a bit more. Right, so we've got 6 in here and 7 in there. That's quite a lot, isn't it? I've made quite a lot, and they're this sort of size. I expect they'll expand a bit, so this should be interesting. Smells lovely, by the way. I've just got one of these stock cubes, which I've just put some water in. But what I'll do is, because this is just to keep them moist, so they don't dry out. So I'll just melt this with this stupid stock cube. Don't melt. If you've got stock at home, you might have to warm this up in the microwave because stock cubes don't seem to be melting. And it's been sitting here for about 20 minutes, and as I just told you, my kitchen is quite cold. Even though the foil here, but I used the other day for something. I don't like wasting things if I don't need to. This foil is really thick as well, so it's very good foil. So I'm able to reuse this bit. So what I'm going to do is just wipe this with some oil. So I'm just going to put some oil on this foil. Like so. So that's one piece for the big one, and then we'll just pull off another bit for the smaller one. Okay, and then we'll just put that there a sec. Put the other bit and do the same again. Okay. So with these faggots, I'm making sweet potatoes and cabbage. I don't know whether to do mash, sweet potato mash, or chips. It's quicker. So, oil's done. So I'll just put that there a sec while I just do this stock. So the stock is now ready, hopefully. God, it still won't melt. Jesus, why does it take it so long? Let's just give it a whisk. Usually I would just use gravy, but we're going to use gravy, so this is just to keep these moist. Okay, that's it, it's done now. So pour some over this one, and pour some over this one. Okay, so that's that, done. So I'll show you what they look like. So there's the faggots with the stock. Faggots with the stock. Okay, now I'm going to cover them with the foil. So we're going to cover this one. And you need to cover it quite well. It smells really nice. It's not even cooked yet. And then there's this one. And then I'm going to put them on a tray. Ew. Okay, that'll do. Actually, we won't put them on the tray, we'll put them straight on the shelf. So here goes. One. I'm putting them on the top shelf of my oven. There. And you've got to put them into a hot oven that you've already warmed up and the temperature of the oven has to be about 180 degrees. Well, my oven is a lot hotter than that, so I will have to keep an eye on it, because this is a catering oven and it's quite hard to control the heat in it. It either goes really hot or it's not hot enough, so I usually have to do about 200, and if I try and turn it down, it's quite difficult to turn down, so I will just keep an eye on them, and they shouldn't take long. I think they take, let me check, well, I can usually just tell how long things take. So cook the faggots for 45 to 50 minutes until the juices run clear. Well, I don't think they'll take 45 minutes in my oven. Right, now we're going to do the gravy while we're waiting for those to cook. And we'll probably come back to those later. And I'll fast forward the video. So let's just wipe this and then we'll get on with the gravy. Right, so for the gravy we need these ingredients here. So flour, sugar, some more stock, which I'm using a gluten-free vegetable gravy, plus I'm going to use some gravy granules and 2 onions for that, tablespoon of flour and 600 mils of liquid. So it says to use 300 mils of vegetable stock and 300 mils of beef stock, but I really don't think it matters if you use all beef stock or all vegetable stock. I think it's up to whatever you have at the time. Don't go out and buy vegetable stock cubes if you haven't got any. It doesn't really matter. If you've got some leftover water from some greens that you've just cooked, like I'm going to cook some greens, but I'm not waiting to use that. But if you had some leftover green water with some leftover potato water, just mix that together and put it in a jug, keep it in your fridge, and that's vegetable stock basically. So, and you can use that as a base for any kind of stocks that you need, okay? Just a little bit of, you know, so you don't waste anything that way. You don't have to go out and buy special stock cubes, and meat as well, because, you know, if you've got juices on meats, tip it out, take off, let it cool down, take off the fat, put that in the fridge, because that makes really good roast potatoes and for frying and stuff like that. And then you get a jelly kind of stock. Keep it. That is your stock. So try and reuse things. Try not to just throw everything away. Don't throw away your potato water and your vegetable water or any kind of waters. Even pasta water, if you cook pasta and you've got water left, keep it, because that's still another kind of stock. So try and use everything in your kitchen, you know, don't waste anything. Like if you cut up cabbages and you cut up cauliflower and stuff like that, keep all the leaves, wash them, boil them. That is stock. All of, you know, all of the leaves on everything, potato peelings, carrot peelings, any kind of peelings, even the onion peelings, keep everything, boil it up, reduce it down, sieve it off, and there you have stock, okay? Just thought I'd tell you that, because that's what I used to do. I don't like wasting anything, and I'd rather have something where I know where it's come from than buying stock cubes. But obviously, if you haven't got any you know, vegetable stock or what have you, then obviously buy stock cubes. But I'm just they have a lot of salt in, and it's best to try and avoid too much salt in your dough. Okay, just a word. Anyway, so now to get on to the onion gravy. So with the onion gravy, we need 50 grams of butter. Okay, so I have some butter here, which is freezing, but hard, because my kitchen is very cold and nothing It's just like a giant fridge, this kitchen, in the winter. So I've got my scows here, so we need to get a little plate and just put 50 grams of butter isn't very much. So I need to make it with, and then I have to tap that to stop it from being. Right. So I'll get 50 grams. I should have weighed it already. As I get better at this, I will not waste so much time. Oh, come on. I don't know if these scales are working properly. Okay. They don't seem to be working properly. I seem to be going... Everything in my life today seems to be going backwards. Anyway, quick story. Yeah, so this morning I thought I'll do my blog. Woke up 7 o'clock, by 7:30 had my laptop out. Thought, right, quick blog post, linking my videos to my website so that people can click on there and go to YouTube, okay? Right, I got it all set up, it was all laid out. All I was doing was on Grammarly, just checking the spellings and the grammar, and then all of a sudden I'd look again and all my work has been messed up on my Wix website. The words at the top were halfway down the page, the sentences, and then everything was messed up. And there's no undo button. There was no undo button on the Wix editor. So I couldn't just press go back, and it wouldn't go back. So I had to literally pick up the bits and move them around. And then every time I went on Grammarly to go and check the spelling again, I don't think Grammarly works very well with Wix myself. I've come to that conclusion. Do you know how long this took me to actually get it all set up? Because once I do something, I will not give up until I've done it. So I don't care how long it takes. But I thought, it'd take me an hour, write a blog post, put on a couple of pictures, and put on the YouTube videos, right? Just links to the YouTube videos. 3.5 hours. Needless to say, I wasn't very happy with myself, or Wix, or Grammarly. Whatever, something kept going wrong, but I would not give up, and I managed to do it, and then I published it quick, before it decided to change again. Just thought I'd tell you that little story, because it really annoyed me. And that was first thing this morning. Since then, yeah, just checked the guests into number 6, and the heating's decided not to work in number 6. Never happened before, ever, not in that room. And now the radiator doesn't seem to be on, so I've had to give them a heater. I put them in that room because that's one of the warmest rooms. Anyway, enough ranting because I'm wasting all my time. So back to the soup. Not soup, gravy. So we're going to have, it says 4 onions here, but I think that's way too many. Right, so we just got a knife. So we're just going to slice these up. This thing is playing up today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my videos that I made already. And I will keep making the videos. Oh, it's very, very windy. The doors keep opening. It's very spooky. And if there's something that you would like me to make, then just leave a comment below and I will make it, as long as it's not too extravagant, you know, too stupid. I won't make anything if it's really stupid. I'm not making beans on toast, stupid things like that. They have to be like proper recipes, interesting things that other people would like to see as well. And I will make them. Plus, as I said before, I'm going to be doing courses here, cooking courses. So basic cooking and more advanced cooking, depending on what your skill level is and what you would like to cook. And you can come and stay here for a couple of days, learn to do a bit of cooking, and just basically have a nice time. Then we get to sit and eat the food you made at the end, and we all sit down together and have a meal together with all the bits of food that we've made. Okay? So I haven't decided when they're going to be, but they probably might start in May, because May is a nice month, and everything should be set up for it by then. Okay, so it'll probably be starting not at the beginning of May because it's bank holiday, but in May. I'm not sure what date yet. I will let you know nearer the time, and it will be on my website, which is Dolbrodmaeth.com. Very simple website, simple. And I've just put on there, as I just explained to you, my what's going on today? Snake. Oh, God's sake. Cut this bit out. Right, so there's my pan, and my eyes water. So I'm going to put the butter in, and then we're going to put the onions in. And then we're going to put 2 teaspoons of sugar in, and 2 tablespoons of flour, and 300 ml of the 2 different kinds of stocks. But I think we're just going to use 1 stock today. Now I'm just going to make my stock with the, well actually I'm making it with this, well because I just happen to have this in the cupboard, some gluten-free vegetable gravy, and I'm just going to use gravy granules today. But you can use beef stock cubes, or if you've got stock like we discussed already, then use that, okay? But if you want to thicken it, then obviously that's why you're using flour. But if you don't want to use flour, you can just use gravy granules, okay? There's nothing wrong with using gravy granules if you haven't got stock. Or if you just like them a bit thicker. And I like really thick gravy. Well, not like ridiculously thick, but when I've had faggots in the past, I like, it's more like a sauce, isn't it? So, onions in. Okay, onions in. I'm only using 2 onions. Apparently you're supposed to use 4. I don't want that much. It's only me and my partner going to eat it. And I'm giving a couple to this guy. So, sugar. So we need how much sugar? This is why I don't usually follow recipes. 1 tablespoon. Normally, I don't follow recipes. I just make up the food as go along. But I really wanted to make faggots. And I've had this recipe book for ages now, and I just haven't used it. So this is a good reason for me to get going with all these recipes that I've always wanted to make, but I've never made them because I've never got round to it. And it's because I'm working here all the time, busy, I've never got time to like stop and do this sort of stuff. So now, because I don't have to run the restaurant and it's evening, so even when I have guests here, like I've got now, they go out to eat, and then I can get on with this. And yeah, so it works well. This is much, much better for me. I like doing this, and I really enjoy it. So I'm only going to have a maximum of like 3 couples, like 3 lots of people, where they can both, like, because I've got lots of places they can go here. So I'm thinking 3 different workstations, and then they can all work together as groups, or singly if they haven't got a partner, they can just do it by themselves. I'm not bothered. But the maximum will be 6, because this kitchen isn't gigantic. We're sitting up for 6, so we have 6 people in here comfortably, and then they can share the cooker. So they have two things each, because obviously I'll be cooking the food first. Oh, my phone's ringing. Oh, excuse me, I have to answer the phone.